America first, right? We need to stop sending money to Ukraine because we need to start taking care of Americans first. Stop supporting all these other governments. That's what MAGA says, right? That's what the low information voters think. That's what the people who don't understand foreign policy think. It's all about America first. Let me ask you this. Do you really think a country like the United States would give money to Ukraine or anybody else to help them fight a war if it didn't in some way benefit them? If it didn't in some way benefit us? Do you think the United States is just in the habit, as the most powerful nation used to be on the planet, do you think the United States just likes to throw money away and do you think it's like woke liberalism? We just want to support people who can't support themselves. Do you really think? I want you to stop for a minute with all the emotion and put on your critical thinking cap. Why would America give money to another country? Money, arms, aid, troops, weapons. Why? Why would America do that? Why would any country do that? And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm Carolyn. Welcome to my channel called As I See It, where I talk all things politics. And yes, I do also have a channel about RV life. All right. So do you really think the United States is just in the habit of just throwing money out the window for no reason? I know a lot of you have been trained to think that Democrats are irresponsible with our money and that, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, or that Zelensky is bribing people, or that the government is getting kickbacks for it, whatever. I know a lot of you, your news is training you to believe that, but I invite you to step outside of what you're being told. Maybe take a class and learn foreign policy and international relations and a little bit of history. Here is what it means to support a country, especially Ukraine right now. It means that we are securing world order. And you know why? Because that benefits us. Helping Ukraine against a hostile dictator who has been our enemy since after World War II, and I want to thank the person who corrected me in the last video. I meant to do some housekeeping. Yes, we were allies with Russia during World War I, during World War II, and possibly even before that. It wasn't until after World War II that tensions started getting higher between us, and then things started to calm down a little bit through Gorbachev, and then Putin took over and we're enemies again. So the reason the United States is fighting against Russia and supporting and sending billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine is because the United States has been a supporter and a beacon of democracy for centuries, since our beginnings here on this land. United States was formed as a principle, as an experiment of government of, by, and for the people. And in order for the United States to survive in a world environment, especially now we are so interconnected with trade and with nuclear weapons and with technology, it is more important than ever. The United States doesn't live in a vacuum. We're not in an island. Yes, we're surrounded by oceans, but we've got countries to the north and country to the south. And we are not and now with cyber attacks and nukes, we are not in a vacuum. It is in our best interest to ensure the world stays peaceful. And when we allow a ruthless dictator to take over a country like Ukraine, if we just stand by and do nothing and let that happen, or worse, support the dictator like Trump is doing, then we are completely fucking up the world order. And that is dangerous for you, the United States. So yeah, America first means investing in peace and democracy around the world. And this is what we have done for decades, if not centuries. So when you are hearing your Republicans and your pundits on your fake news sources telling you that we shouldn't be supporting Ukraine, America first, it's short-sighted at best, malicious at worst. Because we know from the investigations that have been done and the display that we saw in the Oval Office yesterday, that there are people in our government who are rooting for and supporting Putin and Russia. There are people in this country, including in the White House, who are on the side of a vicious dictator. And here is why. He wants to be another dictator in this block of dictators. And what they want to do is conquer and divide the world. But what he's doing is he's alienating us from our allies and putting his trust in malicious dictators who just want to conquer. So let me ask you right now, what would happen if tomorrow Russia and China got together and attacked the United States? Do you think we have the power, the military power, to fend off both China and Russia? And nobody's going to come to our aid because our current president has alienated the allies we have had since World War II. Completely alienated NATO. He is, he's doing what any abuser does, right? He is isolating us. He is isolating us. And I know a lot of you think that the Russia thing was a hoax. It's not. Putin is behind this. I guarantee it. And if you don't believe me, here's a fun fact about yesterday's fiasco in the Oval Office that you're not going to hear on Fox News. Several United States news outlets were not allowed because Trump has decided the AP and is it Readers? There's one other, are not allowed at press conferences and press briefings anymore because he doesn't like that they tell the truth. He doesn't like that they fact check him. So he said American journalists, only the ones who agree with him, Fox News and all the other ones, all the other right-wing ones who like to lie, they're allowed, but no, these, and you can't get much more neutral than the frickin' AP, right? I mean, the Associated Press. But they're not allowed anymore because they are going to tell the truth. But you know who was? Guess who was at the Oval Office yesterday? Guess. And I'm going to put a link below so that you can verify this for yourself. Russia TV. It was a show for Putin. It was an ambush for an audience of one. Trump and Vance had to prove to their boss that they were on his side. And also, let me just clear up one thing in case you haven't been paying that much attention to what happened yesterday. And you think, oh, Zelensky wasn't negotiating, he wasn't being fair. Here is what yesterday's negotiation was about. Trump said, sign over your mineral rights. If you sign your mineral rights over to the United States, we will insist on a ceasefire. We will get Russia to agree to a ceasefire. What Zelensky said is that Russia has agreed to many ceasefires and they have reneged on those agreements. We gave up concessions. Russia said we will participate in a ceasefire, and then when they got their concessions, they reneged on that and did not honor the ceasefire. So Trump, he should know this as the president of the United States. He should know that Russia is not honoring their word, and he is sitting down with Zelensky saying, sign over your mineral rights and we will make Russia agree to a ceasefire. Can you blame him for not trusting? Can you blame him for being, no, I need more guarantees? That's what he said. I need more guarantees. I need something else in order for this to move forward. And again, sitting down with Zelensky and asking him to be the one to end the war when Putin is the one who is wrong here because he invaded another country, he is sitting down and forcing Zelensky to make negotiations. Why isn't he sitting there with Russia? Why didn't what happened yesterday happen with Russia, who is the one who invaded? I hope you can stop. Turn off this video right now and think on that. Why wasn't Putin there? Why aren't we having this conversation with Putin to end the war? And also, one more thing. Can you imagine all of the things Trump has ever said about Putin, a vicious dictator who, by the way, if you, again, your news probably doesn't tell you this, anybody who challenges Putin, who dares to run against him and to garner opposition in the country against him, ends up poisoned, falling out windows, dead. That's who Putin is. His opposition dies, period. So, this is the guy you're defending? This is the guy you think POTUS should be defending? Again, let me go back to where I started this video. Making sure the world is peaceful and democratic is being America first. America does not live in a vacuum. And if this world is chaotic, if it goes into land grabs and imperialism and the threat of nukes and crazy, unhinged dictators on the world stage doing whatever they want, it creates an unstable environment for the United States to exist. So it is in America's best interest to invest in the security, safety, and democracy of the world. One last point I want to leave you with on that note. Nearly 12%, 11.7% of our GDP, which is our gross domestic product, which is the total of all goods, services, products that we create, 12% of our GDP is made up of exports. Things that we export to other countries, goods, services, things like that. 12%. In fact, we are the second largest exporter on the planet. What do you think is going to happen to that number if the world becomes unstable? What do you think is going to happen if we alienate all the countries we export to? Canada and Mexico are two of the biggest. What if those exports just stop, or the tariffs become so high we are no longer able to export to those companies anymore? That's going to lower our gross domestic product. It's going to lower our revenue as a country. So when we invest in Ukraine's democracy by sending money, weapons, missiles, we are investing in the future of America. Keeping the world safe, free, and functional is taking care of America. It is in our best interest to protect our future. That's how I see it. Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for being here.